I don't understand why you think birds have evolved, but fish haven't evolved bigger tails or...
Well, no, they have like different colours. I've never really thought about fish, to be honest, because they're quite boring, aren't they?
So do you agree that fish perhaps could have evolved as well as birds?
Angelfish are pretty.
Okay. What about mammals then? What about mammals? Why can't they have evolved? Why is there an element of doubt?
Yeah, but there's but if you're going to say mammals, then and you're saying all mammals are related, I mean, for goodness sakes, there's sharks and whales in that catecategory. Do you know what I mean? Are you trying to say that?
Oh, right, well, the sharks are fish and the whales are mammals, so we'll forget that.
Okay, well, we'll go with the whale, mammal, whatever.
Right.
Whale.
We're not saying that everything's related necessarily, although it is likely that
but
at some
that's the
point...
logical
going back to
conclusion that
birds.
you're saying.
We're just talking about evolution as a...
Birds, if you believe paleontologists, and I do, are evolved from dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, gradually, some of them were tiny, and some of them, they're not classified as dinosaurs, because dinosaurs can't fly or swim. Dinosaurs were the land-dwelling creatures.
What about those pterodactyls?
They're not.
Oh,
they lived at the same time as
I didn't know
dinosaurs, but
that.
they're not classified as dinosaurs because they can fly. But birds, their bone structure, paleontologists have found in fossils is dead similar to dinosaurs, so they believe that that's where birds evolved from. And there's even I can't remember the name of it. We should look this up actually. That there is a bird type creature that lived during the age of the dinosaurs that was feathered, and it was living all of those millions of years ago, but it was already a fully formed bird. The evolution had already taken place. So, what do you think of that?
I'm sorry to
Have you
say,
ever read
I
Jurassic
think...
Park? You know, like...
Right, you lost her after about 5 seconds.
Yeah, to be honest. If you start talking science stuff, it just goes a bit over my head.
Well, you brought it up by saying only birds
up.
birds have evolved.
You were the one that
Let's
bring
think
it
about
up.
within
You were
one
the one
tiny
that's
little...
talked
No,
with it.
let's think about one family, one species, right?
Right.
What can we use?
Can we not do monkeys again?
No, let's forget that.
Sick of monkeys.
Yeah. Elephants then, okay?
Okay, yeah. Did you know
Right.
that they're having to call them? Apparently they're giving them vasectomies. Because now that they've got no natural predators, because man used to hunt them, and now that men aren't allowed to kill them, women as well, let's not
No, but the
protect
problem is that
So-
people do it
them.
illegally.
And because they live for a long time, so now the elephant population is growing and they need culling, so they're giving them vasectomies. They're doing
Right.
a trial.
You know the difference between culling and preventing from reproduction, for a start?
Well,
They're kind of opposite.
okay, they're letting them live, but they're giving them the snip.
Yes. Well,
It's quite a big operation.
if
I
that's
know.
true, then
It
I
is
still
true.
don't agree with even doing that.
I know
Because the
someone
problem...
that saw
but-
it. It
yes,
was like this
but-
special, once in a lifetime thing. We do
Well,
the first elephant.
okay. Okay, that's fair enough. But what about the people that kill elephants illegal? Because that's the ivory trade traditionally. is
Sorry
the
though, can we
problem.
just go back to what you said about giving elephants a vasectomy? Because their population's not out of control because not as many people are killing
And
them.
I think
they
it
were
takes-
around
Growing.
before.
And I
It
think the
is growing, and
gestation
because-
period's 12 months, so they can only produce two
No,
elephants can
it's,
only produce.
it's they're pregnant for 2 years, elephants.
Are they?
The
Yeah.
issue
So
is
try-
that elephants live for quite a long time, and now that they're not being killed off, there's just a growing
That's good, isn't it?
population because
That is
they're
good.
getting old. Whereas before they weren't getting old because if you got old, you were slow and you get killed.
I've got an issue with the whole
Right.
idea of culling, but that's a
So-
whole different
So
topic.
now they're giving them vasectomies anyway. I've not heard any more.
Well-
that was like 6 months ago. They were starting trying that. Or
Yeah.
something.
Well, we'll look into that. I mean, why don't they do what I heard last weekend that they're thinking of sending our pensioners to Spain over the winter for free, so that we don't have an NHS bill. I told my little
It's
brother
quite good.
about
It's
it.
quite smart.
I told my little brother about it, and I said I can't see the point doing that. And he went, "It's to save fuel from people waiting at zebra crossings for old people to cross." Imagine costing that out.
No, but you would actually make a big
That's a big
saving
problem.
because it's
That is
not
a
just-
big,
it's
big
We
not
can
problem.
send them to Spain for 6 months.
It's not just the NHS savings that you'd make. Like, you wouldn't have to give them their winter fuel allowance or anything like that. It'd work out quite well, really, all round.
But it's a bit
Plus,
of an
if you ever
insult.
wanted to go shopping, and you know when sometimes you pick pension day, and you just get stuck behind all the slow old people.
Well, no, 'cause
What day's pension
Well,
day?
it doesn't matter because we're at work. We don't have a fucking
right.
easy job.
Oh, it says you. Sorry, what days were you at work? this
Sorry,
week, Greg? What
Booking
days were you
time
at work?
off's different
What
from just
days
having
were
a
you
job
at
where
work?
you can roll out and go shopping on
just
pension.
Randomly.
Why don't you just say the first Monday in the month or something? Why do you say, oh, it's pension day, I'll be going shopping? Who calls it pension day?
I've never heard that before.
Pensioners.
That's
And
like
it's
saying
the
washing
same-
day
You
when
know,
we have
like
the washing
child
hour.
benefits. Because I used to work in town, so I'd go like shopping in my lunch hour, and you would not go on a particular day. I can't remember what it was because everyone used to get the child benefit, and they just go out and spend it straight away. Honestly, true. Lots of women with pushchairs really
Yes.
annoying. You just never
Child
go shopping
allowance.
on that day.
Yeah.
Pushchairs. If I was on
That's
room
your
101,
fault for picking
I'd
that
put that
day to
straight
go-
in.
Shit.
No, but this
That's-
is it. Then you avoided that day and you never went shopping on
Right,
that
but
day.
there's another 29 days in the month. I don't know what the problem is. What's the point?
It was a
What-
weekly thing. They don't just get it once a month. It's once
Alright,
a week.
once a week. How many days do you need to go shopping in your lunch hour?
Well, it's window shopping quite a lot.
We've come so far from what we were talking about.
Yeah, I
It's
don't.
impossible to go back.
Yeah,
Let's
I
move
don't know how
on.
to go back.
Although I will just say that I've got Charles Darwin's book, obviously a reprint, Origin of the Species, and he says in this book, you just have basically, I'm paraphrasing obviously, you'll have to go with me on this because there's no way of proving it, it's just from studies over years and years what I'm finally putting into the public domain, and what he actually says is, in the first chapter I think it is, that doubtless someone else will be able to come along with a theory that proves the opposite, and he's just so all he's doing is putting this forward as a theory, but it's
As
held
his
water.
personal opinion.
Yes,
Yeah.
but after studying and
Oh yeah.
working with other
Fair
scientists
play,
in
he's done
different
his
countries,
research.
yeah, and of course I mention that because it's 150 years since that book was published this year.
And 200 years since his birth. This year, wasn't it? February. There was a load of
Could be.
celebrations in February,
Mm.
and
They did have some
the
stamps.
Natural History Museum. They had some stamps out. You always know something's happening where there's some stamps out.
People
there was-
posting letters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've lost completely where I was now. There was
200.
It was 200 years ago since his birth, and the Natural History Museum had a special exhibition on, and I went down on Easter weekend of all weekends, and it was horrendously busy. There was a queue about 6 miles long, so I just decided.
Oh,
I was gutted actually, to be honest.
6 miles.
It's pretty long, isn't it?
How do you know it was 6 miles?
It wasn't 6 miles.
Right.
Was there a little
Using
sign
it-
that
I'm
said
using
only 6
exaggeration.
miles to go if you
I'm
reach
using
this
it-
time? Like at
Yeah.
Madame Tussauds where it says you've got 20
It
minutes
was.
to
It was like it was themed as in the evolutionary scale. It said. It said when you're here, you're still like I don't know
walking on all fours.
exactly.
You're still one of the made-up cavemen.
No, but it'd be like in reverse, wouldn't it? Because by the time you'd gone 6 miles, you would be on your hands and knees, wouldn't you? Just going that
Well, that's just tiredness. That's not
So-
evolution. You don't. One person doesn't evolve. What do you think? It's genetic over generations.
Mm.
It's not that one giraffe got a longer neck, one zebra got more stripes. That's not what happens. That is not what happens.
Firstly, they have to mate with each other for it to even be successful. Something has to happen. An animal has to be born with a slight variation, and then that animal survives and
By
it mates
chance.
with another
Do you
by
reckon-
chance. There's no consciousness.
like God.
The
No,
animal's
I
going,
reckon-
I've got to stretch my neck because I can't reach the leaves. The
And
giraffe's
then
not
it
doing
grows
that.
a little bit. The space between the vertebrae get a little bit bigger, and you can get a few more leaves, and that's not what happens.
It just happened. It just happens over millions.
Do you
of
reckon
years.
like the giraffe thing was like they all started off like with really really short necks, and then 2 had like quite long, like a little bit longer than the rest of them, and all of the other giraffes went, don't like you, you're a bit of a freak, and so they had to go together because there was no one else. Do you reckon that's?
No, they
Right.
They
Let's say
survived.
those
They
two that
survived.
had a slightly longer neck. They could reach. There's a
but
shortage of food. The others died out because no leaf street. The
Yeah,
two
but
that had
when
a
you
longer
say
neck.
slightly
could
longer,
re-
I mean it's not going to be like a foot longer, is it? That
Well,
would just be
it
strange.
doesn't matter. Let's just say 2 had a slightly longer neck. They could reach more leaves. They survived. They reproduced, and because of genetics, their offspring also
it's
had longer
basically-
necks.
It's basically the freaks that survive, though, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
Well, it's a
yeah.
genetic mutation. I mean, that's not,
you
that's
can't
not
say freak because that's a negative. But yeah, essentially they are the freaks of nature that survive. But they're not freaks because they've done something right.